No, no, I won't be able to hear the narrator on this. We probably should see if there was some.
End is never the end is never the end is loading never.
Can't wait for you to get to the confusion. That's gonna be a fun.
Sounds like it's gonna be a confusing time.
Like it's an ending that's like 25.
Hmm.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in that order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits
probably
and
turn on
regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright, let's...
So,
Audio.
Close.
Sure. Let's go full captions.
Go.
Anything I can actually do in here?
Well, you can close the door.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
Nice.
What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell
This is
under
one
his
of the
responsibility?
endings.
He had never been trained for that.
Oh.
No.
You're
This
welcome.
couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy.
Happy.
Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell.
Where's
But
the
one
clock?
thing he knew for sure,
Oh,
beyond
it's right here.
any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon
Answers
now,
will
this
arrive.
will end. He will be spoken to.
Someday.
He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh. Restart.
Yep.
I don't like this resolution, honestly. But I'll have
I mean,
to deal with it.
Less than. It's not
All of his
acceptable.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Am I able to jump in this game? No, I am not. Hey, I can turn off computers. Oh, that's the only one on computer. More computers. Awaiting input.
One
Huh.
input.
Wait, I can just walk on top of these, so does that mean I can walk on top of these other desks as well?
Fourth.
Odd.
I know there's a way to.
I could weirdly get on top of the other desks, but not the ones here. Quite strange indeed.
Yes.
Can I open any of these other doors?
When
Now.
Stanley
Choice.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah.
The
Do you
narrator's
enter-
trying to kill me.
Now, do you listen? Okay.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ah,
Yes,
quite
truly a
beautiful.
room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I want a soda. Give me my soda.
Soda.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yes, it is quite worth it.
Very
Narrator,
worth it.
don't patronize me.
We're
Why is this
simple
cup
male.
sitting
At
on
this
the
point,
ground?
Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Oh, that's quite mean. This narrator's already being mean to me. All I've been doing is admiring a nice lounge that he told me to go to.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Yeah, the narrator breaks the fourth wall a bit. Just
Can't do anything else in here. Just
Yeah.
keep going on.
But
No,
at last,
no.
he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left
will
to
you
get
go
back to
forward
business.
or will you listen to the narrator and go back on track?
Let's keep going this way. Let's see what's going on here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
I know, it is quite incredible, isn't it?
Go on.
Do not climb from cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift.
I feel like your life.
Wee!
Oh my.
But in his
Oh.
eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Just
That was
committed.
fun.
That was the suicide ending.
I wasn't even trying to prove anything.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, this computer's waiting input now. Huh. That's different. Now let's actually see. I've heard the
When
cargo lift
Stanley
start
came
moving,
to a set
so
of 2 open doors. This
Let's-
was not the correct way to the meeting
go back
room,
there.
and Stanley knew it perfectly
Are you
well.
actually gonna see what's
Perhaps
across
he
the
wanted to
lift
stop
now?
by the employee lounge first,
Yeah.
just to admire it.
I'm not gonna stand around
yes,
here.
This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Huh, that's new.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Well then.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Now, I'm gonna tell you this. If you get on like that
Look, Stanley, I think
that
perhaps we've
walkway
gotten off
right
on the
there,
wrong foot here.
that'll lead to another.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but
Yeah, I
the
want to see
fact
where
is
this
that
cargo
the
lift takes
story
me.
has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Well, this is the first time you're bringing up
This is it,
her.
Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
So, if
She's been waiting.
Wait a minute.
it's too late to.
Okay. I heard the door close. I figured something would happen. This is gonna kill me, isn't it?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
This phone's plugged in.
As Stanley picked
Wait,
up
I
the
can
phone,
actually...
a white
Oh
light
my God, you actually did it.
filling him not just with radiance.
You actually did it.
Hope for a life
I didn't
without
think this would happen so early, but you actually did it.
Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No,
I
that
wanted to
wasn't
see if I
supposed to be a
could.
choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't
You're gonna need to
know
listen
that
to
was
this
possible.
dialogue
Let
closely.
me double check.
Did I plug it back in?
No, it's definitely here,
No,
clear as
no,
day.
you just have to
Stanley
listen.
picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. The music comes in, fade to white, roll credits.
Sounds like a
Not
crappy movie
picking up the
ending.
phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting
Yay.
you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on
But-
my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making.
But this is a safe decision.
Please observe this helpful instructional video.
I unplugged the phone so it would stop ringing.
Choice.
Just
the
so now we're
best
about to
part
watch a
of being
very
a real
informative
person,
video.
but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember
fire one.
that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack."
Back, sack, and crack. My goodness, it's 4:30. Something about back, sack, and crack.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back.
Whoa.
You may have
So yeah,
noticed that
reality
this
is
room
kind of
has begun to
deteriorating because of
as a
this.
result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit the choice you made
I'm gonna have
just
to
a few
tell you
minutes
exactly
ago
what to
and
do
see
in order
what the
to make
correct
sure
thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okay.
Because someone actually was able to fuck this up somehow. Yeah, they made it so you can't kill yourself.
Oh.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all.
Yeah,
We just
like,
need to get you
it's
out
not
as
like
soon
even
as
if I-
possible before
go.
the narrative
Yeah, I
contradiction
know.
gets
That was the
worse.
first thing you did. That was the literally.
It seems this place is not
That was
really
actually the
equipped to
second
deal
ending you
with
got.
reality.
I was actually just checking to see if the penalty thing actually meant anything, and if I could.
And yes,
Yeah, there's
Jump.
actually an invisible barrier. I was trying to see if I could jump.
the game is literally wants you to just kill yourself. Stop.
Stop it.
Almost
As you
there.
get to see the meeting.
You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending. The story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Go.
Alright. We're
Go.
going to take the right door.
Yep.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction.
Now,
Perhaps we're
now
not
at this
too
point, we
late.
have to go back.
Well then.
Now we go on the left.
Fine, I'll take the left this time. Never been down this hallway.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone? Left here like so much garbage. It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know
Yes.
that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility.
Oh my God, it
forever.
actually is
I couldn't live
deteriorating.
that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work?
Ugh.
I don't know.
Oh!
It's the answer.
Captain
What do I do?
Starkiller
What do I
made an
do?
oopsie.
No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to.
No!
I have to.
Shutting the game down.
No!
He's shutting it down.
It's gonna kill me!
We're stuck here.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look
I
where we
was.
are. My entire game is
I
destroyed.
think all this happened because you
It was the only thing
unplugged
in
a
the world that
fucking
was
land.
mine, and you've run it into the ground.
Yeah, see, I just wanted to
What,
see if
did
I
you
could
think that would
unplug
be
that
funny?
phone.
You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to
Pretty sure
be
you're the
like
only
Stanley?
person I've ever seen who's ever
He
actually
actually
done
knows how to
like
do what I tell him
as
to.
as
He
like the
understands
first
that
thing,
if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it.
which is to
That thought
it's kind of
even occurred
it's
to you,
really
had it? That there's a world outside of you.
I just
You're
know
a
don't follow the
child.
narrator, and if he tells you if there's something that normally shouldn't be there, mess
My
with it.
story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would
Now
have
he's
seen
just
it.
getting
There was
into
a whole
spoilers.
underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
okay. I want you now. This time you actually have to go
Exactly
to
as
otherwise
Stanley
it'll break
would.
the game.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We have to go with the left man.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley
Like, it's
would.
going to keep
That
on
means choosing
repeating this until you go to the left, and
always
it will
putting
break the
the
game.
story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just
All
follow
right.
my lead and
I'll
you'll
follow
be
the
fine.
left
All
this
right.
time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up
we
to his
continue the
boss's
game as
office,
normal.
hoping he might find an answer there.
What is hot? Profits.
We'll come back to.
Let me open the door.
Oh yeah. They blocked off all other ending areas.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Seemed like a weird place to put a railing, yet another door.
You see that there's normally a stairwell there, but since we're going through this end.
Can't open this door. What the?
Yeah, this is the boss's
Stepping
office for
inside
this
his
ending.
manager's office,
This is a nice
Stanley was once again
office.
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the
Expensive
door
boss.
with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions, and beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still
Night
work?
Shark
There was only
115.
one way to find out.
Hey,
Stanley
he's
had
pointing
been
a gun
trained
at that
never to
panda.
speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Except Stanley can't talk. And that's the joke.
Night Shark 115.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Eh. Hey, boss
Sorry,
man.
is there a problem?
I'm
You didn't
mute. I
mishear,
can't
did you?
speak.
Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
I can't speak.
This is a crucial step.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know.
Open
You could have gone through the
for
door
me.
on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you cunt. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What?
Now just watch carefully. Because this is a very important, thing.
Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door.
Yeah, you got the canon ending.
Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
Wait, this is
Stanley,
just
this
the
is
ending?
important.
This is like the real
The
ending.
story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot
Literally,
exist
the first
without you.
meaningful
You
ending you
understand
get
me?
is the real one.
Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice.
Oh, I feel bad for the narrator.
I'll wait for you to
You know, it's
decide
very,
what's the
very
right
sad
thing to
ending.
do. Take as much time as you need.
Narrator, I'm here.
Wait for each.
Huh.
It's really, out of all the out of all the meaningful endings you get, it was the real ending. Damn.
You
All
know,
of his
I
co-workers
had
were...
just...
Wait, no. This isn't the
Your
right office,
intuition,
is
I
it?
didn't think you'd actually
It's
pull the
Stanley's
damn
office.
plug on the damn phone so soon.
My first instinct is to mess with stuff that I know I shouldn't be messing with. I just wanted to see if I can. Because I don't know what to do with this in this game. Like, I don't know what there is to do, so I want to see what I can pull off. I can kill myself, I can basically do whatever I want.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's go for the catwalk.
This
Yeah.
was not the correct way to the
That's a
meeting
good- that
room,
one-
and
that one's a
Stanley
good
knew
end.
it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace, its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
Darker.
Just, you know, if there is something
But
like
eager
weird
to
about
get
that
back to
room, I
business,
wouldn't,
Stanley
'cause I
took
don't
the
know if there
first
is.
open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley
on
was
to
so
that
bad
catwalk.
at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
We have.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm
Gonna-
not. I
You are
realize that
making me the
investing
enemy.
your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Yes.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Red door leads to fire.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked
can still
through
go.
the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked
doors.
through the red door.
Is there another door? Hey, here's the blue door again.
Yep.
All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let
This is
me
a funny
stop you.
ending. Just see it.
You see, there's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place.
Why are there so
Broken
many other
rooms,
doorways?
exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Yes.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better?
Explosions.
What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
Yeah, give me a little
Tell you
scooter.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
take a
Let's give
stab in
some
the dark
let's
and
give
you
some
decide.
community
You can give me some
feedback to the
feedback.
narrator.
There we go.
Wait, what?
A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before.
A
Exhibit
third option.
raised.
Stanley, take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now,
Rate
tell
your
me about your
experience from 1 to
experience
5.
with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel
Where
free to
literally
be
everybody
honest.
I watched
I'm
it.
looking for some real critical feedback here.
Let's see. You know, I think it really benefited from
Aha!
choices.
You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door?
Game
Well,
just really needed
it's
that
instinct
third door to
mostly,
raise the
a
stakes.
calling in your
you know?
gut. I really
Yeah.
couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Another version?
Here we
What's this?
It's
Worldwide
the
leaderboard.
leaderboard.
What?
Good old Neil.
Where am I?
You'll see.
All of those pictures look the same.
Oh
a
my
dead
god,
rat?
you're under a dead rat, and Mussolini was the one above that.
Huh.
I want you to know, like, I saw Hitler in that leaderboard, and above the dead rat was Mussolini.
Friends list is empty. We're going through that third door again.
Now,
Please rate your
would you
experience.
say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
That depressed me.
Hey,
2 out of
I
5.
forgot I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing.
We're gonna play
You
test the
wouldn't mind taking a
game.
look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Wait, what?
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice.
This seems
But
very
of course, the
simplistic, like it
message
would be a
of the
mobile game.
only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
4
so why don't you
hours?
give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective. But be sure to keep notes.
I
on
don't
your
know if there's an
experience.
ending for doing it in 4 hours, but considering it is, I don't. 4 hours.
I already don't like the noise, I don't like the crying, I don't like this.
You can stop at any time, and I recommend you.
I'm tired. I already don't want to.
You heartless bastard.
Well
Did you
then.
do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because
Both,
if it's the
really.
latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for you.
How about
I'm
something
not even
actually
going to
fun?
try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do
Sure.
we have here?
You got Minecraft on here?
Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Oh. It's probably just gonna
Well-
restart.
Well, you see, the thing is,
Wait, we actually play
Well,
Minecraft
is this any
now?
better?
yeah,
Yes, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely
called
nothing
it.
to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough?
Give me a
Well,
pick
say
and I'll show you how to
this.
play.
I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater
going to
artistic
build a
purpose.
stand.
Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Building his
This
house.
will go here. No, here. And then.
See the little snub.
Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and
It's
feel
beautiful.
ashamed at your own inadequacy.
Yeah, you're
but
gonna
you've
show
only
me.
seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
And even had a door opening sound. My god.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond
We're really
everything.
pushing our
Yes,
boundaries
yes,
here.
yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
You know, I was gonna make another joke about a different game, but
Oh,
seeing how they already took the whole Minecraft thing,
oh, That what was your? What did you think they were gonna send you to
My,
next?
it looks like it's going to
I
get
was
a bit
gonna say, why
dark.
don't we
Have
play
you
some
brought a light?
G-Mod then? Wasn't
Oh,
the original Stanley Parable
This is
made
far
from like
more
a Half-Life
open-ended
mod
than
or
I had
something?
in mind.
Yeah,
I'm
it
looking
was
for
a
something
source
more
mod. Yeah.
narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5.
I can't see.
Even the diamonds couldn't
Yeah,
save
we're
this
a bit.
one. Okay, new game.
I hear spiders.
That's the dead end. Okay. I think you're good. I think
So
you're
we're
gonna
finding
enjoy.
another game.
I think you're gonna enjoy this.
Are we playing Portal?
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it.
Yep, we're in Portal.
You
I knew
trapped
that
in a
radio
glass
from anywhere.
box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Wait, what? You just lower the wall? You don't even make a portal for us? Jeez, narrator, you're getting lazy.
It's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley.
Yes, Stanley, your forte.
Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I don't need your advice. I don't need your ratings. I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then, I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work, and I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
Wait, that actually...
Yeah, that was the way to go.
Huh. I just tried to see if I could. I remember...
Yeah.
Can I get that
Now
radio
jump
back?
down the abyss again.
Whee!
There you go.
I'm still falling.
Yep, and here you are. Just so you know, that when you mentioned the source mod, yeah, this is we are now.
I thought this was... The original... I remember the original Stanley Parable was talked about once, like a mod for Half-Life 1. I didn't think I'd actually get to visit it.
Yeah, now we're here. We're at the we've reached the origin story. Hey, look, it's the two doors.
Can I go back to my original office?
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Hey, the lights are actually on here still. Well, that light is.
Door 427 is your OG setup. It's got a lot more Windows 98 out in here.
Huh. Not really anything I can do in here.
Yeah, now we just leave.
Can't even close the door to this place.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it, down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
So he just believes that he left me in the portal, not thinking I would jump down the elevator shaft.
Yeah.
What if I go back and play Portal again if I jump down the elevator shaft and will actually reach that area?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Did the layout change?
I don't think the layout's changed.
No, I mean like the way you came into this room.
No. At least I don't think so.
I feel like I noticed something and you didn't, but whatever, we're past that point.
Doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh, we're going straight to
him.
We're going. You can go back and like do like the red door, whatever. That one's a.
Yet there was not a single person here
No, that was too
either.
late.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
First two words were talked last time. Oh, we can do the broom closet. Sitting there
Stanley
for a while.
Stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I like the stuff that's in here. Got a big old
Yeah.
wrench.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of
There
dialogue,
was
so we're just
nothing
gonna
here.
for a
No
few
choice
minutes.
to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of reasons to be.
I mean, it's nice and spacious. I mean,
It was
Get a-
baffling that Stanley was
get a
still
chair
just sitting
over
in the
here,
broom closet.
got a nice
He wasn't even
TV.
doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Should be, you know,
Are you
hang up a
really
painting.
still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I can get. Well, we already have a bucket here. Get crap in that.
Yeah,
I could live in here for the rest of my life.
yeah, we
know,
have the bare necessities. Yep.
You
Eating
do
all the
realize
supplies.
there's no choice or anything in here, right?
Eating some duct
If I'd
tape.
said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Well, it was labeled.
Maybe
Label
to you,
deserves
this is
to be checked
somehow
out.
its own branching path. Maybe when you get to talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
I mean, I don't find this concerning at all.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
And I wouldn't.
He probably only got the job
And he
because
wouldn't
of a
say that
family
to me like
connection.
that.
That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Wow.
Okay.
Well then.
He's
real
getting a
weird.
We've come
little-
to a very
yeah.
definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to
very
this
much
broom
alive.
closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
What if I don't
Okay.
want to leave?
I'm not sure if he actually talks any, but walk out and walk back in. Pretty sure. Dial.
Second player, it's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Okay, now that's all that there is.
Okay, it doesn't say anything else.
Yeah, but the next time we come through this hallway, be sure to walk in again.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You know what, the boss will say I'm crazy. I gotta find a way out of here. Wow, this is spooky.
You're really good at guessing.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He
Here's my
considered
car.
the possibility of facing his boss.
Actually, what you
Admitting
need to do is
he'd left
continue
his
walking
post during work
with some
hours.
things.
He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself,
Yeah, don't worry,
maybe
just keep
I
walking.
am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh,
Pretty
what a
convoluted
relief Stanley
dream.
felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
Now,
And he
that
thought to
that
himself,
might not be
I suppose
true.
I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my
mean, he
boring
could be sleeping.
real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he
I am
imagined
definitely
himself
crazy.
flying and began to gently
No,
float
you're not
above
crazy.
the ground. Then he imagined
you're
himself
floating.
soaring through
Yeah.
space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
See, you're totally
How was he
dreaming. You're
remaining
totally
so
not crazy.
lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was
Are we
amazed
sure
he
it's
hadn't
just
asked
not the
himself
narrator
sooner.
influencing the story?
Why
That's
is
what he
there
always
a
does.
voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
How?
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
What?
Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
That's quite
Now, hearing
impossible.
the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh
Yeah,
air
that's not how
of
this
a
works.
world outside this one.
You don't know that.
Let me wake up, he thought to
If I do
himself.
wake up in an actual bed
I'm
or something,
through
I
with
will
this
be
dream.
annoyed.
I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I
Yes,
want.
I would like to continue pushing the buttons.
I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
You know what? I should probably actually go back and
My
pick up
life
that phone.
is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Or okay.
Yeah, nothing's okay here. Hey, I'm back.
Stanley began screaming.
Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
And everything went black. This is the story
am
of a woman named
I?
Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And
Heart
although
attack.
she would soon turn to go
Yeah.
call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered
Seeing
the
a
meeting
dead
she
man
had
on the
scheduled for that
sidewalk
day.
in the city.
The very
Something.
important people
I'm pretty
whose
sure she's related
impressions
to
of
Logan
her
Paul,
would
then.
affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had
I
no
need to get
time
the
for
camera.
this,
There's a
so
dead
it
man
was only
outside.
a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
That's nice.
Yeah. That was definitely an ending.
An odd ending that it wasn't really expected.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed
Okay,
the
I knew
memo.
something was different about the last time you made a left turn. This time you made a right turn like you normally would. Oh, loading as loading screen theater.
We're going to the broom
When
closet.
Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
Yes.
he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
You know, I like the the broom closet ending. That's the best end.
They do some peaceful in here. We don't have to deal with that crazy narrator guy.
Loop, legs.
Let's
Coming to
go
a staircase,
upstairs.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Huh. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what this input receive stuff is.
So yeah, this is what the office is supposed to.
This is much different. Wait a minute. It's back here.
Don't know.
Dang it.
Stepping.
Oh my god, you actually did it. You did it.
Hey,
Try.
I did it.
You did it first try.
What is... Oh crap, I'm actually stuck here.
Yeah, now you have to go back to your office.
Can I go back to my office?
Yeah, if you want to get anywhere, you have to go back.
I was trying
You
to see if I
pray-
could actually... I want to see
'Cause
if I
you
could do anything
literally-
with those, like, automatic doors that I actually got it to work.
Like, you've literally just unlocked another end. You have to go back.
Huh. Well,
God, you're doing all the convoluted ones so early.
well, those automatic doors, I'm trying to see if I can actually start beating those. Apparently you can.
That was the one you were supposed to beat to get this ending.
I just remembered so many other ones I could have done,
Now-
and I realized that
And now you go through this door.
I don't know this door. This is a new door. Different door.
Now
Now leaving.
we are escaping. The elevator's out, so you have to go. Our escape is at floor 760. We're on 754. We have to go upstairs.
Why do we have an escape pod bay?
Question that, but you don't question why you were in crap portal.
You see, I believe that the narrator has a choice in what he wants to do to this world.
Hey, you do. You can stay in the closet.
Well, I escaped the narrator. I'm happy. He hasn't said a single thing.
He probably still thinks you're in the boss's office. Probably screaming at you for not fucking doing your job again.
You know, they say there's a lot of walking simulators in the world. This is definitely a long one.
Yeah. But we're almost there.
I couldn't even see.
Escape launch bay.
There we go.
Dead.
Wait, what?
Just. Oh, there
Oh.
it is.
I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the light earlier.
Probably didn't open yet, but you were turning so much.
Juking them bullets.
Freedom.
What?
Congratulations, you got that end.
I never got to the escape pod though.
Nah,
I was
you
stopped.
escaped. Nah, you escaped. Don't worry.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
I never heard that.
Wait a minute, I thought I saw someone. That was weird. You know, actually, I'm gonna start looking for all these input computers. Maybe there's one in the first room I missed.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
Yeah,
co-workers.
here's one. Awaiting input.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. Nor
Delby, press-
did it advance the story in any way.
Awaiting input. Let me input.
Oh, there you go. You actually got on the thing. I'll let you input also.
Yo, I need to check. Do windows exist? No, they do not.
No, walk out
Oh.
entirely. There you go.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
No.
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different?
No.
Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never
Probably.
would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Am I just stuck here now?
Yeah, you have to restart.
Begin the game again.
In terms of game, I recommend the door from walkway, because that one. I wouldn't say.
This is a recorded message
Door.
scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose
Hey.
of this message
Yeah,
is to
okay, you
warn
got
you
it.
about the dangers of recorded messages.
The dangers of
If at any time
recorded
you
messages.
believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Nailed it.
Are you actually?
I'm going to go see what the other one is. But why don't I see what it is?
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all
Wait, here,
of them
remove the
are
windows.
appropriate. I'm enjoying
Oh, there
what
they are.
seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named
Singing a song
Stanley,
for me.
who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons.
Yes,
He
I do
pushed
like
them
buttons.
like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain
pointing
had
to,
not ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes.
Well then.
You too will become quite unbearable.
Narrator, you can stop. I'll restart once you stop.
Sure, it stops giving.
He's just playing his guitar.
Yeah, that you stop. Start.
Alright, I'm not jumping back. I'm not jumping through the window again.
Oh, it changed.
Wait, what?
It's just a straight line to doors.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So where you going? Okay, we're actually going to the boss's office. Okay.
Let's go to the boss's office. We'll see what happens.
Get more routes to see.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Let me in!
I knew that would happen.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his
Let me
boss's
in.
office.
Gotta get my mop.
Huh.
Bathroom.
It's nice. Wouldn't let me in earlier.
Right. You can see rights to. You can go in the elevator.
Huh. A lot of stuff here I couldn't open in my last playthrough.
Now we wait.
This has got to be the most generic elevator music I've ever heard.
I have a feeling it is.
I hear the narrator. He's singing along.
You just, you know, this elevator doesn't go anywhere. It's just so you
Well, that ruins the surprise.
I mean, you would have waited here for about 5, 10 minutes, and I.
Is there any way I can get this to stop?
Yeah.
That was a real waste of time.
It's just something to discover.
But there should have been an actual ending connected to that. I don't even know how I
No.
opened these doors finally.
It just,
What?
I mean, it decides to let you. That's just
Stepping into
says-
his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on
Looks
the
like
boss's
Nordman.
desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay
2845.
buried below his feet. And so the boss had
Little
assigned it an extra
small
secret pin
desk.
number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around
This?
twiddling his thumbs.
I don't
Trying
know the
to input
password.
anything on the device
I mean,
was
you can
useless,
do this.
since he could
No,
never
I
possibly
don't know the pass-
Stanley simply
Hey,
began
yeah, this is-
entering random codes
this is
into the
completely
keypad,
valid.
knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would
Wait, you
ever
just got an
result in
achievement?
a correct combination.
Yeah.
If
Apparently
he
I'm just
knew,
pressing
if he knew
button 8.
2845.
don't know what it is. What could it possibly be?
There's no way I can figure this out.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
The narrator actually just got tired of my bullshit.
Yep. You made him rage quit.
Is there any last minute changes I could do?
No, there's a. We're going down. Now you're going to be brought in with another choice.
Another choice.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Maybe you don't want to press buttons for all life.
But what if I do want to press buttons?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facilities.
Named.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
It says escape. I'm not trusting you,
The door
narrator.
behind him was not
That's
shut.
your-
Stanley
says
still had
escape.
every opportunity to turn around and
I
get back
believe
on
it.
track.
Still says
At this
escape,
point,
narrator.
Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Down the hatch.
Into the darkness. Oh, I guess I will die. Guessing I just fell to my death.
You're about to see something. Go in here.
Shit, we're back in Half-Life 2.
As the machine whirred into motion,
We ain't getting out of this
Stanley
one
was
either.
inched closer and closer to his
Oh,
demise.
no.
It reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley conceived
Hiding
that the
from it
creature
isn't
needed
gonna
to
stop
know the real
pushing
story,
you.
trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps
Yeah.
his death was of no great loss.
My
not
question is, why
plucking
does this machine
eyeballs from a
exist?
blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end.
Why does
to
any
his
of this
brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
See, this machine just crushes metal plates together.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was
Who
led
are you?
helplessly into the enormous
We're
metal
about to get
doors.
into
In
the
a
meta right.
single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Ah! Huh.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
I'll save that for later.
So yeah, so this is the
When
pretty much
every
the
path
extras.
you can walk has
the-
been created
the
for you long
development
in
process
advance, death
for the-
becomes meaningless, making life the same.
Oh.
Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Nature paintings. Different kinds of doors. Those are some nice sounds.
One of them had solitaire.
And I just erased all their data. I know that clock.
Yes.
For all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to you?
Series several times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from the early takes that were not used in the final game.
Stanley stood on the roof.
Huh. Different. Oh, this is a nice place to be.
Museum.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Yeah, we're literally going into some dish.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now. It'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Or don't let time choose.
Just let it happen. You weren't having it.
I'm not even gonna bother trying to stop the game. Another narrator enters the story. I'm not gonna listen to them. My other guy knew what he was doing. He told me that it would lead me to my death. And he was right. Should probably listen to him.
Yeah. You need to.
I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, so I never found out why this happened.
All of its co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I'm gonna get into that hallway.
So,
Never found the final input.
we haven't discovered.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's speedrun this.
Yet there was not a single person
We're
here
going into my
either.
control facility.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go
Do
up
you know
to
what
his
you remember what
boss's
that code
office.
is for the
Coming to a
office thing?
staircase, Stanley walked
2845.
upstairs to his boss's office.
2845. Alright.
The moment he
Before
entered his manager's
talk.
office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Hurry
That
up, let's
kind
keep
of
moving.
anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Really?
Only.
Trying to get back to where I was just a few minutes ago.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
You insulted me earlier for not doing this fast enough. Now that I rush it, you make me wait.
Hey, he can't handle that type of anxiety. Rushed. Some things need to be paced correctly.
We got a loading screen we have to do again. All this other crap we have to do.
I mean, to his defense, he did say that whole death.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large
Now we
door
enter the
that
mind
led
control facility.
Mind control facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Libby.
So one button to press.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
There are weird panels over there that have other writing on them.
I mean, a couple people said,
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
probably red.
No.
Wait, how did I break free of
He
the mind control now?
refused to believe it. He couldn't
Hey,
accept
look, somebody
his
was fired.
own life in someone else's control. Never.
See,
It
here's
was
like,
unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof.
Press the
The
buttons
heart
all.
of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Get rid of this facility once and for all.
This room's dark. It's a big red button. I want to press it.
Button. Pressing.
I'm pressing every button I can. I can't press this big red one.
Go to the power room.
Facility power. I might as well turn this thing on.
Yeah, I mean, supposed to...
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Holy shit, you actually turned it off.
Huh. I should turn it back on.
I didn't think you had the moral high ground to do that.
You know, they weren't paying their electricity bill. I had to turn the power off.
Okay, now we're getting the OG ending.
And a rising chill of uncertainty.
Went
Was
through
it
his
over?
soul.
Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
Question.
But as sunlight
Yes.
streamed into the chamber, He realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
I would like to know what happened to my
Perhaps his goal had not been
coworkers,
to
though.
understand, but to let go.
Yeah, all 1,000
No
of them.
longer would
except
anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Oh god, it's
It was
Ireland. Take me
perhaps
back.
the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Nope, we're going back in.
Damn it.
Oh, it's closed. I can't choose to not leave.
Yeah, this is your end.
Stanley felt
And
the
I lose
cool
control.
breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation.
In a segment about
the
not
immense
losing control, you
possibility
lose
of the new
control.
path
Liberal.
before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
He doesn't deserve to be happy.
He got the happy ending. Yay. You're welcome, narrator.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
Okay,
mean?
now I think I know where the last
Stanley
input
decided to go
is.
to the meeting
Go back
room.
and
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Damn it. Too late. Oh well.
We'll restart.
Now, if you look at your Stan,
It's right here, really? Whoops. What did I do?
another ending.
Welcome, Stanley, to heaven.
You can stay here for all eternity. Press buttons.
It's button heaven!
It's every Stanley's dream.
Yes! It's just heavenly voices saying buttons. Oh.
Best ending.